You can see all challenges for all Supercharger combos here.
Welcome to Family Gamer TV. We've been looking at Skylanders Superchargers, and I've got Guha Bala, studio head at Vicarious Visions, to tell us more about some of the stuff we're seeing in the multiplayer version of the game. So as Guha gets us set up for our Supercharger challenges, here we've got Super Shot Stealth Elf, of course the dark variant, and Stealth Stinger, the match vehicle. You need those two vehicles to play these challenges, and you can see on the screen here you've got the Academy again coming back, feeling similar with different visual adornments, different things making it feel more like a racing space. On the left you've got that airship containing banners and potentially a checklist there of how many of these vehicle challenges you've completed, and in the background as we move towards the centre of the Academy you can see what looks like a kind of air or sky gate down at the bottom of the screen. We've passed by Mags. The villain vault is gone, replaced with a central command post manned by Cali and Flynn, close by, and Hugo in the background. In the background again, the Academy door is boarded up, and Flynn and Chaos statues are missing, replaced by Hot Streak and Spitfire. Persephone appears to be an almost identical position to Trap Team on the right hand side of the Academy. Further on from her we can see some kind of land-based area. And right at the back we've got Buzz, again similar position to Trap Team, and I guess he'll have to have a similar role. And then to the right of him we have Anabu, who is guarding what looks like our Skylanders Supercharger challenge. So Guha, can you tell us a bit more about this?
So in Skylanders Superchargers, in addition to the awesome sort of multiplayer experiences you have with racing in land, sea and sky, we have for every Supercharger pair we have a Supercharger challenge.
You can see all challenges for all Supercharger combos here.
And so what we're about to see is when we pair Super Shot Stealth Elf with Stealth Stinger, her stealth helicopter, we'll be able to unlock a new challenge. It'll take us to Calamity Canyon, and in this it's sort of like a different type of play style. Now this is not a multiplayer challenge per se, but in that racetrack you're going to fly around shooting bees, and it's really par values for maximum points. And so these bees are almost sort of like harken to old school gaming, where you have rows of enemies and that kind of thing, and then you want to take them out. But the key to doing this is to balance between hitting the small bee targets as well as getting your score multipliers with bigger bees as well. So at the surface it's a very simple game structure, but with all new air handling, also with the score multipliers, with the different obstacles that you face in a course as well, it's sort of an easy to play, hard to master. And it's really remarkable. What we find is, like, when people start playing it, okay, they get a few thousand points, 10,000 points to the bronze award, and then occasionally you get this awesome player that somehow nails it and gets over 80,000 points, and you're like kind of scratching your head and say, well, how did you do that? I didn't know we designed it to do that.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of cool, actually. It provides a lot of fresh experiences.
Yeah, so that's another way to play.
Exactly.
In that, and we're using those racing tracks that you do the multiplayer game in.
Yeah, that's right. It's another way of playing in the same play space with a different gaming experience. And so you can imagine for every Supercharger pair, there are 20 of them, you'll get a unique and novel different type of gameplay and a gameplay challenge.
So for every pair you get a challenge. Do you have, is that how it's unlocked? So when you have the vehicle and the Supercharger character, you get the challenge? That's
right. In this case you could browse all the challenges right from the get-go, but play a Supercharger challenge, you need that pair.
And just go back a bit to how the back and forth works between the campaign game, where you're upgrading your vehicle, and then you take that vehicle into the racing side of the game. I think you spoke a bit about how the game balances to avoid a massively overpowered vehicle.
Exactly. So every vehicle has a set of modifications, a set of parts that enhance its capabilities. And so you've seen those in the past in terms of the random mod drops that occur through mod chests throughout the campaign, throughout the adventure game. And when you get each of these things, and they could be different wheels, different armor enhancements, and it's just dependent on the vehicle that you have, you can customize them and alter stats. Stats like handling, acceleration, top speed, weight, armor, things like that. So a whole variety of modifications. And so as the player sort of goes through and explores and really tricks out their vehicle to their favorite vehicle, and also uses gear bits to upgrade the weapons and shields, you can imagine you kind of start building like this super vehicle.
Yeah.
We make it so no vehicle is the total Uber vehicle. So for example, you're not going to get one with top speed, top acceleration, top armor, top handling, and it can do everything. And in the racing, there are two things that we do to balance this out. One is some things that are really geared around speed, we create a narrower band of differentiation within the racing mode. And so that makes it so the race will always be competitive. If you have Shark Tank, if you have Hot Streak, it's always going to be the driver that matters the most, as opposed to the upgrades that matter the most.
But the upgrades still have an effect today.
Yeah, they still have an effect, and so you can lean into your playstyle. Now, the thing about racing is that it's not just about speed. Every one of these courses is designed to be a fun combat racing experience, so armor matters. If you're furthest ahead, that means you're going to be the one that's most targeted by all the other competitors. So that means you'll have 8 other players or 7 other players shooting at your back if you're the furthest ahead. That makes a case for having a higher armor vehicle, for example. Or if you're on a course that has a wide strip, one that has high handling will be suitable to take the curves. If it's a narrower part of the course, high handling will actually make it more likely that you're going to bump into some of the sides. And so we make it so the courses are balanced to explore the various facets of the vehicles as well, and the combat mechanics are likewise done so. Now, even the weapons on the vehicles matter, so every vehicle has a primary and secondary weapon, and some of them are going to be long-range, high-power, but low frequency, like Shark Tank. He launches little sharks and lobs them. So that gets really good range, but another vehicle is going to have sort of much more rapid fire effects, but lower power, and maybe medium range or something like that. And so these are all balanced as well, partly according to playstyle, but partly so that the actual variety of vehicles can actually have unique advantages as well. And then finally, we have random chests, random crates that occur throughout the level and throughout each course, that are fundamentally about changing the racing balance as well. So if they are a random drop, but if you're towards the back of the pack, you're likely to get boosts that enhance your speed. And if you're in the front of the pack, you're more likely to get defensive bonuses like shields, healing elixir, things like that. Because if you're in the front of the pack, you're more likely to get hit by people behind you. If you're in the back of the pack, a leg up on speed is more likely to get you back into the race and competitive. So these are all different levers that we use to make it so you always feel like your head's in the game and you're in the game.
Yeah, nice. And well, when you were developing the racing side of the game, well, I guess it was Beanox, I think you said. Were they looking at other kart races? I'm aware that I think locally you're a 2-player kart racer, whereas other like Mario Kart, let's say it, is a 4-player. Was that a difficult decision, or?
You know, for us, certainly when we look at Skylanders Superchargers, there are games that have vehicles in them. There are games that have on-foot character action in them. For us, our goal is always how do we create a special, really novel experience, original, creative experience with Skylanders. And so from the get-go, the design of the adventure experience is a vehicle adventure. And that's very rarely seen. And in a vehicle adventure, it's about saying, well, how do kids imagine vehicles to be? And at least my imagination when I was a child, my children's imagination, I can imagine yours as well, you may start with race cars, motorcycles, but quickly go into helicopters and jet planes and UFOs or submarines and hovercraft. It was this moment when I was asking a kid, well, what kind of vehicles would you like? And he said, well, do you have a hovercraft? And when I said yes, it just blew his mind. And so that's how we look at this. And with the racing component, there are, of course, vehicle games have been out there. We said, what would make this a unique kind of combat racing experience? And that's what led us to the current design. It's about, rather than saying split screen that will actually fundamentally, 4-player split screen, which will fundamentally lower the level of detail and other things like that. In the local play, we said, well, let's make 4-player multiplayer happen, where you can have like a full command of the scene. You can really see sort of how you're going to use your attacks. You can really see where the speed boosts and speed rings are, or the secret passages are, and that kind of thing. Let's see how we balance against the other human players. And so that's something really unique and a unique combination. And of course, unlike any other, it also combines sea racing with above water, underwater, sky racing, which is really about aerial air acrobatics and a full dimension of exploration you don't have available anywhere else. So that all in combination creates a really novel mix. So you're going to find something really unique in Superchargers in the racing mode.
Yes, there's a lot going on there. And also you've got multiplayer coming to the campaign.
That's right.
Which you're not showing, so we've not seen it yet.
We haven't seen
but
it
I
yet.
wonder if you could able to talk a little bit about it.
Yeah.
The two players, if you're playing online with someone, are you still sharing the same screen and tethered to each other, or is there more freedom because you've both got your own screen?
So actually in 2-player we still do it like the couch co-op experience where you're tethered together. So in a lot of ways the co-op adventure is very similar to the couch co-op that you've been playing. It supports voice chat because of course it's with friends only, so you know the person that you're playing with.
And is that on all platforms of voice chat?
The voice chat is available on all platforms. It's available for iOS. It's going to be somewhat performance dependent on your tablet, but otherwise it's available on all.
Yeah, I was thinking more about the Wii U rather than
We have voice chat on Wii U, for example. We have it on 360, PS3, PS4, Xbox One, all those as well. And so this makes it so it's actually a really fun experience. The way we design all of the different sections in the adventure mode, we design it so players can really communicate to solve puzzles. And this is an important piece of why we keep it a tethered experience. And so what we find is it's a really fun experience for me to play with my daughter, for example, because I could jump in and help her solve a puzzle. Not anymore. She's a little older now and very sophisticated.
She's helping you.
She's probably helping me now. And what that means is you have to share a common play space. So if we're off by ourselves playing in a totally different part of the world, well, that's not going to happen as much. And so it's very much a pick up and play, join anywhere, join in at any time type of experience. Now in the vehicle sections, it also becomes really important. In vehicle cooperative play, you have one vehicle, 2 players. One player is the driver, the other one is the gunner, or also plays a role in collecting gear bits and other things like that are in the environment. That's also very intentional. When you're dealing with potentially younger gamers as well as older gamers, sometimes shooting and driving is more fun when one person focuses on the shooting and the other person focuses on the driving, for example. And so that's also designed to say, let's play in the same play space, but make it a great experience. So that's why we make those design choices.
Yeah, great. And again, we've not seen the Wii or 3DS version, but it's developed by Beanox, like the other racing. So, mine's obviously going to assume it's a similar sort of experience. Is there anything you can say about what to expect on Wii and 3DS beyond a complimentary experience?
So here's what I could say about that. One is that the reason why it's a complimentary experience is because we have the system capability that's kind of unique on Wii and 3DS that's very different than the others. So by focusing on Wii and 3DS as its own experience, it makes it so we really invest to make that a great gaming experience. The second thing is, it is a racing-focused experience, Skylanders Superchargers racing, but the racing experience is unlike what you're seeing in Skylanders Superchargers on these other consoles. So the racing experience is actually going to be all different tracks, environments, a different progression, all of that sort of thing that'll make it a really novel, complementary experience as well.
And will the racing expansion packs work across both next gen and also back on Wii?
So you will have now I can't speak right now in terms of specifically what happens with the action packs on Wii and 3DS, but I will say that they have functionality for Wii and 3DS as well as the next gen console, so that will be available from a consumer standpoint. The way the action packs work is, in the past we've had adventure packs. Now we have these action packs. You have a Supercharger vehicle, Supercharger Skylander, and a boss trophy, land, sea, and sky. And those are amazing toys in and of themselves, but when you put the boss trophy on the portal, it unlocks new tracks, but also new challenges. And every racetrack in Skylanders Superchargers is themed with a boss in mind, with a villain in mind. And when you beat that villain, you can actually capture that villain in the trophy and drive as that villain, use that as a driver on any of the vehicles in racing, and also get a novel villain vehicle as well.
And that means we're to drive as Chaos and race his vehicles. Am I assuming something
that's
there?
What the Chaos Trophy is
in
the Dark Edition, so that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and so I imagine some of the other trophies are yet to be revealed, or do we know some of them?
I think they're yet to be revealed,
yeah.
But I think there are some hints in the racetracks that you've seen already.
Great, well, can't wait to see a game in the home. We're getting quite close to release now. What's the actual release date again?
So the release date in Europe is September 25th, 2015. In North America, September 20th, so right around the corner.
Yeah, so coming up. But thanks a lot for your time. Yeah, really looking forward to playing it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're very welcome. My pleasure.